Hey, how's it going? Morning. It's it's a cold morning. I've had 4 degrees today, and about 7:30. That's about 8 o'clock now. But just hanging out, having some coffee. If you've seen any of my videos, I roast my own coffee, so I get coffee from importers, and I built some coffee roasters, and I have another type of coffee roaster that was produced by somebody, which works nice. But uh, hanging out this morning, and with the cold weather and everything, it's got me thinking. Was out by the fire yesterday. It was about 20 degrees, and you're outside in the cold, and what you're wearing has what you're wearing in the cold determines your outdoor experience. So I was just kind of thinking, maybe I'll start. Uh, I started experimenting with the wool socks that I have, that I've bought over the years. So I thought I would just kind of talk about that real quick to help you. Maybe if you're looking to get some wool socks for the winter, which I recommend. Wool in the winter is the only way to go. It's all I wear, and I wouldn't use anything else to keep warm, especially if you're outside by a fire. Wool is essentially fire retardant naturally, where synthetics are not. You don't want to wear acrylic or polyester around a campfire. Just no way. Don't do it. A little fleck of ash or coal or something flicks out on you and burn a hole through your material. And I've heard of people even catching their arm on fire. So don't wear synthetics around a campfire. But being out in the cold had me thinking, like I said. So just going to go over some of the wool socks in my arsenal, so to speak. Again, thank you for tuning in. And my name's Jeff. I'm here in Ohio, living in the Amish country area of Ohio, and everything outdoors as much as I can where I'm at. So I live on about a 1 acre piece of land, and I've lived here for 41 years. So, first up, I know everybody's familiar with Carhartt, so, and let me just preface with saying this is not any promotional ad for any kind of wool sock maker, brand, or anything. This is my own opinion. These are my socks that I bought over the years, and that's it. So, all right. So, I have a pair of Carhartt socks. These are, I don't know what the percentage is on these. I've had these for a little while, but if you go to the store, you'll be able to see these. They're brown, have a brown top, kind of a brown bottom. They're pretty comfy. I'm not going to lie. These are pretty comfy socks, and they're more of a light to midweight. This is something I would wear probably more spring, even summer, in fall, in like, a pair of non-insulated leather boots like I wear. I have Irish Setter boots that I wear, which I love. They're called like the Countrysider. They're like a hunting boot almost, waterproof and everything. But these are a nice light to midweight wool blend. So they're not like 100% wool. They're not like 80%. They're probably somewhere around 18 to 20% wool, maybe. And that's just off the top of my head, just kind of feeling the fibers and everything. I have a lot of wool clothing, so It's easy for me to tell what's wool and what's not. But these are fairly well made socks, and I'd recommend them for spring, summer, early fall. But certainly not thick enough and probably not enough wool content to get into the cold days of winter like we're getting into now. It's 4 degrees out this morning, so this isn't something I would throw on and go out and do my morning chores in. So, but they're holding up. It's a sturdy sock. It's a really sturdy sock. So, it says Carhartt right there. But think about those for the not so cold times of year. This other pair of socks, I bought these at a place. They sell these in pairs. These are a Wigwam sock, and these have a decently high wool content. I think it was, I want to say these were about 72% wool, and then you blend it with acrylic to keep the to help keep the wool fibers together. So a blended sock usually holds up longer than a straight 100% wool sock. These have a gray edge around them, around the top. I forget what these were called. But if you see these in the store and they come in pairs and they're at about between like a 72-77% wool content, these socks are amazing. This is something I would throw on in the dead of winter, put my boots on, go outside, and not worry about my feet getting cold. So I tend to I tend to buy socks that are at least in the low 70% wool content area. Anything below that I find doesn't sustain body temperature and heat as much, in my opinion. But these are great, and these are sold in pairs. They come in 2 pairs, so you get 4 socks for $26 is what I bought these for. And when you think about socks, wool socks, winter socks are an investment. I'm going to have these for quite a while. So the money's worth it to me. It's worth it, absolutely, no question. I buy quality nowadays. I'm done with the cheaply made, the stuff that's made cheaply to be thrown away, so you go out and buy another one. No. I'm buying stuff that's going to last me for years. That's just what I'm doing. So these are Wigwams. Okay. Wish I knew the name of these. Some of these socks have names, like these ones. Next up is another set of Wigwams. These are the Wigwam Canada socks. They're a mid-calf sock. And these have probably about 62% wool. But these are really tough socks. I tend to actually wear these as almost like a slipper around the house in the winter. But you can throw these on in a well-ventilated boot, and you're going to get some heat, and these are going to last. I've had these for years. I've had these for probably 10 years. And I wash them and use them winter after winter. The heel isn't giving out. And it's an amazing sock. And I wish it wicked moisture a little bit better. And I think that's due to the fact that it's lower in wool content, but they're still very warm. I don't know exactly what the percentage is. You can probably find it online. But these are great. They're great. Ventilation is key in your boots when it comes to winter thermal socks, wool socks, what have you. You don't want to tie your boots too tight. Your feet will get cold. You need to have air circulating around in there. So the Canada sock from Wigwam, overall, it's going to come down to what kind of boot you're using. I wouldn't use these inside of a rubber boot, like a muck boot or anything like that. I would use these in, again, a nice, like a well-ventilated, maybe like leather boots, like my Irish Setters, a Danner type boot, maybe. Things like that. Maybe Red Wing, some of the Red Wing shoes you get away with. But depending on the boots you use, like I said, well ventilated, these should do pretty good. They should do pretty good. Next up, we have, we'll do these alpaca socks. This is from Alltech. Allteca. Yeah. I actually just bought these recently, a couple months ago. These are called the Prevail alpaca socks. They're like a green shade, if you can see it. I don't know, it kind of looks gray on the screen. But they have a green hue to them. These are, I would call it probably heavyweight, but they're not thick. They're thick enough that they hold heat and shed moisture. Awesome. They're great. In a well-ventilated boot. These are great. There's no like stretch holes. Some of the socks have stretch holes. Like if you look at, I'll show you these in a minute, but like these here. See those? That's like open there. It's for ventilation. This part. So there's not much material there, so it lets air in. But these don't really have that. And they shed moisture, and they're really warm. I'll throw these in pretty much any boot, even a rubber boot, like a muck boot. And they work great. Make sure if you're using muck boots that you're getting air. You're still getting air down into the boot, like from the top. So if you put your pant leg over the boot, it might affect the how the sock operates. So these are I like these for my Irish Setter boots. So the Allteca Prevail, recommended for cold weather. I wouldn't normally use these. I wouldn't use these in the summer. Use them in the fall in the cool weather a little bit. Springtime, if you're out doing maple sugar, tapping trees or something like that. These would be good. So that gets a thumbs up as well. Here we have the Wigwam Woodland. These are a full over-the-calf sock. These are like a hunting sock. These have holes up front on the toes. See there? That's for ventilation. And that's about the only spot on the sock that has that. You're going to want to watch that. Your toes are the furthest point of your extremity, and depending on the boot that you're using, I would definitely probably say using an insulated boot with a little bit of insulation is probably going to be the best way to go with these. Simply because of that, I do tend to feel a little bit colder on the toes in these. Otherwise, the full length, the rest of the full length of the sock is great. These are high wool content. I think these were about 77%. 77%, I think. The Wigwam Woodland hunting socks, essentially. They're, don't get me wrong, they're warm. They're absolutely warm with the right boot. You use these in the dead of winter. They're great. If I was Wigwam, I would probably put my ventilation elsewhere on the sock. Just a little constructive criticism there. Again, this is not a paid advertisement for any brand, but just a little feedback, I guess. Put the ventilation up here instead of down by the toes. Then, if you did that, I think this would be the ultimate sock almost. So that's that. I have another pair of Wigwams. These suckers are 80% wool. These are called long ice socks. It's going to go up your calf. These things are super thick. See how thick that is? They have like a roll top to them. These are going to be my. I just got these, so I've worn them once. And if you do get these, make sure you have a larger boot to get your foot and sock into the boot, because these are going to take up a lot of space. And so far, the one time I wore these, they seem like they would be like the most amazing sock in the world. I think my boots are just a size too small to get these in for them to work effectively, to get air moving around inside the boot. So I wear a size 10, but my rubber muck boots are 9.5. Just, shoes or boots are made differently. So if I had just one more size up, I think these would fit absolutely perfectly. So I'm going to see how that goes, and maybe more updates on these. But these suckers are, 80-20. 80 wool, 20 acrylic, I believe. And they blend them so they keep longer. If it was 100% wool, that heel would wear out very quickly. So the Wigwam long ice socks, give them a shot. I think you'd be blown away. These things are hefty. And then I'm going to go to my favorite. Last one is my favorite. The Smartwool hunting sock. This has an orange cuff, I guess you could call that. And they're kind of green. And they have some orange on the heel. These are not super thick. But right now, these are my go-to warmest socks that I have. They have the ventilation up here on the, see that? Ventilation is up here. And that tender works real good. Your toes are completely covered. These go all the way up over the calf. I wore these yesterday in 20 degrees, standing out by the fire. My feet were not cold one bit. Smartwool hunting. This is essentially probably going to become my go-to sock for the winter, for general use. In temperatures at least down, probably at least down to maybe 10 degrees. Once you start getting around 0 and below, the 80-20s, Wigwams are probably going to be the way to go. But as of right now, Smartwool hunting socks, all you need. Thanks for tuning in and watching the wool sock video. So, coming up on Christmas, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I'll be posting throughout the holidays probably. And it's 4 degrees out today, and going to do some inside stuff. We'll see what it's going to get up to for a high, but going to also start getting ready for maple season. So there'll be more on that. Thanks for liking and subscribing, and hope to see you back. Giddy up.